The Adventure of Grandma and Kids, 3 Wolves. Chapter 1, The Howling. Grandma and her grandkids, Max and Lily, had been planning a camping trip for weeks. They were excited to spend some time in the great outdoors and explore the beauty of nature. As they sat around the campfire, roasting marshmallows and telling stories, they heard a chilling howling sound in the distance. Grandma recognized the sound immediately. "That's the sound of wolves," she said. "We need to be careful." Max and Lily had never heard wolves before, and the sound sent shivers down their spines. But Grandma assured them that they were safe as long as they stayed close to the campsite. As they settled down in their tents for the night, Max and Lily couldn't help but feel a little uneasy. The howling continued throughout the night, and they struggled to get a good night's sleep. But they were excited to see what adventures awaited them the next day. Chapter 2, The Tracks. The next morning, Max and Lily woke up early and decided to go on a hike while Grandma prepared breakfast. As they walked along the trail, they noticed some strange tracks on the ground. "What are these?" Lily asked, pointing at the tracks. Grandma took a closer look and recognized them as wolf tracks. "We need to be careful," she said. "Wolves might be nearby." Max and Lily were a little scared, but also fascinated by the idea of seeing a real wolf. They followed the tracks deeper into the forest, eager to see what they would find. As they walked, the tracks became clearer and clearer. They seemed to be leading them towards a clearing in the woods. But just as they were about to reach the clearing, they heard a rustling in the bushes. They froze, unsure of what to do next. Chapter 3, The Encounter. Suddenly, 3 wolves appeared in front of Max and Lily. The wolves were staring right at them, and the kids were frozen with fear. Grandma had been following them from a distance, and had seen the wolves too. She quickly made her way over to the kids, putting herself between them and the wolves. She knew just what to do. Suddenly, 3 wolves appeared in front of Max and Lily. The wolves were staring right at them, and the kids were frozen with fear. Grandma had been following them from a distance, and had seen the wolves too. She quickly made her way over to the kids, putting herself between them and the wolves. She knew just what to do. Max and Lily were amazed by their grandma's bravery. "How did you know what to do?" Lily asked. "I've spent a lot of time in the wilderness," Grandma said with a smile. "You learn a few things along the way." The kids were grateful for their grandma's quick thinking, but they knew they had to be careful. They decided to head back to the campsite and tell Grandma what had happened. Chapter 4: The Chase. As they were walking back to the campsite, they heard a rustling in the bushes once again. This time, it was different. It sounded like something was chasing them. They turned around to see a pack of wolves running towards them. Grandma knew they had to move quickly. She grabbed Max and Lily's hands and started to run towards a nearby cliff. As they ran, the wolves got closer and closer. They could feel the hot breath of the wolves on their heels. But just as they were about to reach the edge of the cliff, Grandma pulled out a rope and quickly tied it to a nearby tree. "Quick, climb down the cliff," she yelled. Max and Lily hesitated for a moment, but then they quickly started to climb down the cliff, using the rope as a guide. The wolves were still chasing them, but they were no match for the kids' agility. Once they reached the bottom of the cliff, they looked up to see Grandma holding off the wolves with a stick. She was fierce, but the wolves were relentless. "Grandma, hurry!" Max yelled. Grandma knew they couldn't hold off the wolves forever, so she quickly climbed down the cliff and joined the kids. They ran as fast as they could back to the campsite, grateful to have escaped the chase unharmed. Chapter 5: The Escape. Back at the campsite, Max and Lily were shaken by their encounter with the wolves. But Grandma knew they had to be prepared for anything. She taught them how to build a fire and how to make noise to scare off wild animals. They practiced setting up traps and learned how to identify which plants were safe to eat. As they sat around the campfire that night, Max and Lily felt safer and more confident than ever before. They knew that they were prepared for anything that might come their way. And just as they were about to turn in for the night, they heard the howling once again. This time, they weren't scared. They knew they were ready to face any challenge that came their way. As they fell asleep, Max and Lily dreamed of their next adventure. They couldn't wait to see what exciting challenges awaited them in the wilderness. Chapter 6: The Rescue. The next morning, Max and Lily woke up to a surprise. A group of hikers had arrived at the campsite, and among them was a park ranger. The ranger noticed the tracks of the wolves and asked the kids about their experience. They told him about the chase and how their grandma had saved them. The ranger was impressed by their bravery, but he also warned them about the dangers of the wilderness. He told them that they should never go into the woods without proper equipment and preparation. Just as the ranger was about to leave, he received a call on his radio. A hiker had gotten lost on one of the nearby trails and needed to be rescued. The ranger asked if Max, Lily, and their grandma would be willing to help. Without hesitation, they agreed. They followed the ranger deep into the woods, using their skills and knowledge to navigate through the wilderness. After hours of searching, they finally found the lost hiker. He was tired, hungry, and scared, but he was relieved to see the rescue team. Thanks to the skills and bravery of Max, Lily, and their grandma, the hiker was safely brought back to the campsite. As they sat around the campfire that night, they were all grateful for their adventure in the wilderness. They had learned valuable skills, faced their fears, and helped someone in need. And they knew that they were ready for any challenge that came their way. Chapter 7: The Reflection. The next day, Max and Lily and their grandma packed up their camp and started the hike back to their car. As they walked, they talked about all the things they had learned and experienced during their adventure. Max said, "I never knew I could climb down a cliff like that. And I never knew that you could use noise to scare off wild animals. I feel like I've learned so much." Lily added, "And I never knew that you could set up traps to catch your own food. That was really cool." Their grandma smiled and said, "I'm proud of both of you. You were brave and resourceful, and you worked together to overcome any challenge. But most importantly, you learned to respect and appreciate the beauty and power of nature." As they reached their car and drove away, Max and Lily couldn't help but feel a sense of accomplishment. They had faced their fears, learned new skills, and helped someone in need. And they knew that they had grown stronger and more resilient as a result of their adventure. As they looked out at the passing scenery, they knew that they would always remember their time in the wilderness, and they felt grateful for the opportunity to learn and grow together. The end.